Have you ever had one of those days where you're thinking, look at me functioning like a normal adult, managing everything? Go into a grocery store, something small happens, and wham, you find yourself in your Honda Civic crying. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah, me too, gorgeous. Let me tell you about why that happens sometimes, what your brain is doing, and how to come out of it. And if it's not you, the tools you can teach your little ones to come out of it. So I was about 25 years old and I lived in San Diego. I was headed to the grocery store. My sister smoked cigarettes, asked me if I'd pick her up a pack of Marlboro 100s while I was there. I said, sure. I mean, what could go wrong? I didn't smoke, but that's really neither here nor there. So I go into the grocery store. I get a basket full of groceries. I go to the checkout stand. It was a nice day. I was having a good day. And I asked for that pack of Marlboro 100s. At this point, the cashier looks at the bagger. Unfortunately for me, the bagger had like a choker necklace. Back then, those macrame choker necklaces were in style, and a bead right here. So the cashier says to the bagger, can you believe with her voice, she'd smoke? And the bagger nodded in agreement, like, yeah, it would be stupid to smoke with that voice. And at that point, it dawned on me I wasn't normal. It was, the room started spinning. It smelled like disinfectant, like the hospital had smelled like. That choker was bothering me. I used to have a trach. It helped me breathe. It's like a tube. You push on it and you can speak. And that bead was exactly where that trach was. Anyways, I don't know how I managed to get out of the store. I must have paid. I hope I paid. I grabbed the basket and I used it as a walker, and I got to my Honda and I left ice cream and all behind my trunk, and I just got into the driver's side of the car. At that point, I was spinning. My heart was beating so hard. It was thundering in my ears. I thought it might pop out of my chest, break my chest open. It was like a train, kaboom, kaboom, in my ear. I was spinning. I was feeling really hot and nauseous at the same time. My brain had totally left the attic and bam, smashed to the basement. And remember, that's fight, flight, flee, or fawn. And I remember I sat there and I said, you're okay. He's not here. You're okay. You're okay. You're in your car, not that closet. You're okay. And then I started doing the breathing exercises that I had learned. 2 short in, 1 long out. You're okay. You're safe. You're all right. And pretty soon, my heart stopped making that loud, thundering noise in my ear. Started to calm down. I felt better. The nausea went away. Things calmed down. I got up, got my groceries back into the trunk of the car, put the card up, drove home, tattletale to my sister what happened. My sister complained to the manager of Safeway. I have never entered a Safeway again if I could avoid it in any way, shape, or form. But anyways, why did that happen? Well, my brain, all of a sudden, there was like, with the comic of errors, the statement reminding me that I had injuries that I had for a moment forgot about. The choker necklace reminding me of that trach. The bright lights in the grocery store reminding me of the hospital. It had all fooled my brain, and my brain thought it was in danger again. And so it went right down to survival mode, right down to the basement. In other words, my rocks of trauma that we've talked about in past videos, they were all balanced, just perfect. And they avalanched when that trigger happened. But the important part of this is to teach you that that was not the time for me to learn the tools to help me out of the basement. The breathing I'd learned ahead of time. I was prepared to do the breathing. I knew what was happening. I could breathe. There's other breathing exercises, and we'll talk about those later. Also, I could remind myself I was safe. I was okay. It was okay. I was safe. Now, if you're with a kiddo and that happens, you could sit there quietly with them and you can remind them, you're safe. You're okay. You're safe. You're okay. You want to breathe with me? Or here's a hot bowl of soup. Let's cool it down. Anyways, that's our lesson today, is why do we have panic attacks? Again, it's because our brain all of a sudden, whoosh, those rocks avalanche. And we go from wherever we are, boom, down to the attic. And it's a smash, man. You just hit those stairs. It's ridiculous. Adults can do it. Children can do it. Another thing, sometimes after a panic attack, there's embarrassment. You're in a grocery store, everything's normal, and all of a sudden, you're acting in a way that you feel embarrassed for. I want to take the stigma out of that. Things happen. Anyways, I hope until next week, you're able to seek the good, find the joy, and absolutely, I hope you know you're loved. Okay, please hit like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.